Good morning, my friends. It's Chris. Happy full moon in Gemini. If you are living in the United States, we just came off a long holiday weekend, and today we are jumping right into this next full moon. This full moon is the final full moon before our winter solstice. And if you know me, you know that the winter solstice is my absolute favorite holiday. I have some exciting things coming up that I'm going to offer leading up to the winter solstice, so stay tuned for that. Today, I want to talk about this full moon. This is a full moon in Gemini. Gemini is an air sign, and Gemini is all about communication. Often we think communication is about talking and speaking clearly and saying what's on our mind and communicating, expressively. There is another side to that communication that involves listening, hearing, understanding, receiving what is being communicated to you. And this full moon in Gemini that's what this all is all about. So it is more about understanding our reality and how our reality is created through our own perceptions. And so I've talked about this a lot. I love this concept of understanding that our reality is different than the person next to us because our reality is based on how we perceive things and how we think about things. And so this full moon in Gemini is giving us an opportunity to raise our vibration and to shift our reality because we have the ability to shift our perception. So the communication aspect of this Gemini full moon is really more about receiving information in a new and different way. This, just like Gemini, there are two sides to everything, right? This communication, that perception that happens, there are multiple, I always say more than two sides, multiple realities based on how we perceive things and how we interact with things. And so this full moon is asking us to take a minute, start to explore and examine our stories and our habits and our actions based on our perceptions and see if there are ways that we can begin to elevate our perceptions, to raise our vibration, to shift our way of receiving information and to bring us into a more aligned, a more connected, more evolved state of existence. Gives us an opportunity to start to catch those little stories that we fall into, right? Those little habits that we fall into. And it gives us an opportunity to realize that other people's realities are based on their perceptions, and we can embrace those perceptions and start to understand them a little bit better, knowing that we have the ability to change our expression, to change our perception, to change the way that we receive information. So that's really what this is about. With Gemini being an air sign, this is a very flighty, fluid, expressive time. One moment you may be feeling like, yeah, I've got this, I am right on, spot on. And the next moment you may be feeling like, well, what the hell just happened? I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm so frustrated. And so that is normal with this Gemini energy. It's just that two sides of the same coin of the polar opposites of the highs and lows, the ebbs and flows. And it being an air sign doesn't give us a lot of grounding. And so we often flow with the wind, like leaves blowing in the wind. We are not anchored as much, and we can move through those emotions and those realities much quicker than we would with some other signs. So today, with this full moon in Gemini, I encourage you to notice what perceptions you're hanging on to, notice perceptions and stories and habits that are causing harm to you, and ask yourself the question of, why am I clinging to this? Pay attention to where we're spinning our wheels, perseverating over the same thing. And this is a subtlety as well. It's easy to see those big things, right? And be like, oh, I want to change this, or I want to change it differently, or what happens here? What if? But it's even, this full moon is all about those subtleties as well, really getting down to the nitty gritty and understanding the little nuances of the places that we are stuck in our old perceptions, and those old patterns are keeping us down. They're wearing us down. They're limiting us. They're causing harm, or we're clinging to them for no reason anymore. Take some time, since Gemini is communication, write things down, journal if you're a journaler. If you're not a journaler, maybe just make some lists of things that you perceive as successful or things that are going well for you, things that you enjoy, things that are aligned, and then things that you want to release and let go of, that you want to shift your perception around. Just put something in on paper, write it out. That gives us that external expression of awareness. We get in our heads, literally get in our heads, and that doesn't give us the ability to pay attention to where we are in those little nuances of those same stories, right? And I invite you to practice with me this evening, tonight, Monday evening, the 27th of November at 7 p.m. online. This is our full moon practice. This is going to be a fun one. We're going to do some weird things and change our perception. There's going to be some pranayama. There's going to be a little bit of Kundalini Kriya in there, and a lot of meditation. So, and with some prompted journal questions. So check into the Awakened Yoga Collective, check into my YouTube channel, it's just Chris Batzner, and find me, log on at 7 p.m., roll out your mat, find a quiet space, light a candle, grab a cup of tea, and let's explore the energies and expression of this full moon in Gemini, tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern. Leave a comment, let me know if you have any questions or anything aligns with you, and I will see you on your mat this evening. Sat Nam, my friends.